Hello folks and welcome back to Star Citizen. So we're going to do a little bit of a shorter episode today. I wanted to show you what my routine has been for making lots of money lately, and the ship I use to do it and all that stuff. Maybe it'll help you out. So I'm not much of a PvP player. All the ships I set up, I have PvE in mind when it comes to combat. And to me lately, the best way of making money has been doing the group bounty missions that you can pick up over at Everest Harbor or Hurston area. They give you ERTs, extreme risk targets, and VHRTs, very high risk targets. Now, if you do enough of these group bounties, you get the North Rock promotion all the way up. You can make more than the listing price for the payout, a lot more. Now, HRTs and VHRTs, pretty easy to do with just a normal ship with honestly, any setup you want. In my experience, when it comes to the ERTs, though, you really kind of need something a little bit extra because you're going to be fighting hammerheads. So I've kind of gotten used to just doing VHRT and ERT group bounties with a Anvil Hawk with a full dominance scattergun setup. The scatterguns, they can really take care of hammerheads if you go at them right. I've tried fighting hammerheads with other kinds of builds, and it's just not been that effective. Short of, taking a, Retaliator out and throwing a bunch of size 9 torpedoes at it. But anyways, I'm just gonna go do a little bounty hunting loop here and show you what I've been doing to make a lot of money. Oh, my ships just keep duplicating themselves. Alright, let's see if this one works. So, like I said, this is the build, I'll show you when we get out here. The build I'm using right now is the most effective I've used when it comes to just convenience for taking care of the hammerheads. They're significantly more difficult to kill than every other ship in these bounty chains, unless you do the Arlington missions and try an Idris, which I still haven't tried. But usually with the Hawk, I'm able to go out and bounty hunt ERTs and VHRTs until I run out of hydrogen fuel, basically. Sometimes you get unlucky and you lose a wing or something, have to come back, but it's been pretty damn good for this. It's a very nimble little ship. It's basically a flying laser shotgun with the way I have it set up. Before we head out, let's see if I even have any. Alright, we got a group ERT, so let's take that. Take call to arms. Now, like I've said before with bounty hunting, I don't usually go after the extras that are there. I usually just concentrate on my targets, and then as soon as they're dead, I just quantum out and move on. So, anyways, first target. The great thing about the bounty missions now is that they're no longer spread out across the system. They tend to be all in the same area. So, with this setup, I just overclock everything. The scatterguns, I've not noticed them being down long enough to really make a difference at all. Just because you have to, I guess you'd say they're semi-auto, you gotta click every time to fire them. You can't just hold down the key or the button. Usually keep my speed around 500 limited. And you still run into asteroids sometimes because you get so, locked into what you're doing. Oh, I forgot to show you this setup I have. Hold on. Okay, so I put an Atlas quantum drive on it. It's a civilian quantum drive you can get at Port Olisar, and it's kind of the best size one, in my opinion. 2 ultraflow coolers, a JS300 power plant, and for the shields, I do an FR66 and a Guardian. The Guardian has a much faster downed recharge rate, so it'll start adding to the shield pool sooner than an FR66. FR66 has more capacity, I believe. Anyways, it's a good setup. And as you can see, I have Dominance 1 and 2 scatterguns on every slot. So 6 of them. 6 scatterguns. Pretty brutal. And the Hawk was relatively cheap. I mean, it was like a 1.1 or 2 million. And it's been the most effective, in my experience, at taking on these ERTs. Not always, just mostly the hammerheads. That's really the only reason. When you fight small ships with this thing, it's a real pain in the ass. Especially the miserable hurricanes. Here's a warden. All right. That speed just a little bit. Gotta get close. I know some people like long range kind of sniping, but it's really sensitive to movement. There you go. One down. All right. Get out of here before the other ships show up. It's all about, I mean, you'll get a little, you know, an extra 500 to maybe 2,000, somewhere around there for killing the extra ships, but I find that if you want to be expedient about it, you might as well just kill your target and then bug out. It's really strange when you're fighting the hammerheads because I think depending on whether the server is running well or not, the fights can be over in 30 seconds, or it can take a few minutes and be a real pain, so we'll see. The way I found most effective for taking hammerheads is you get real close to them, and you get into kind of like this, almost like this alligator death roll kind of thing. It's hard to explain. Just diagonal strafe around them, you'll see what I mean. And if you don't concern yourself with the extras and just concentrate on the hammerhead and keep moving, it's pretty effective. Now, don't take everything I say for gospel, because I'm not an expert in combat in this game. I've only been doing it for like the last maybe 2 or 3 months, but I've been doing it a lot on the PvE side. Maybe there's better ways of doing this, but looks like we got 2 targets in one place, so one of them is going to be a hammerhead. Okay, this is the warden, so let's take care of the warden first. Thankfully, no hurricanes this time. I hate fighting them. They like to kind of do the War Thunder thing and just circle around you nonstop. Okay. Alright. So I'll just show you what I'm talking about. Just get in close to him. Try to avoid getting messed up on the way. Just stay pretty close if you can. Kind of do a diagonal strafe. Start kind of just circling them. Usually they'll kind of stick in the same area, more or less. Stay out of their firing solution. Oh, unless the server decides to do that. Moving a little faster, don't want to get hit by him.
Shit.
Just gonna ignore everything else going on around, just keep moving. Boost a little bit if you start taking hits from the hammerhead. Just move a little faster. Oh man. Almost ran into that. Okay, I lost a piece of my ship. Not an important piece, thankfully, but... Okay. And he's dead. That went pretty well, except for losing one of my tail wings there. I'm not sure how that happened. Yeah, at least it's not an important piece. In fact, I don't think that really matters at the moment. That does happen with the Hawk. Sometimes you'll just lose pieces like that, kind of out of nowhere. But the only other ship I've seen that could maybe do the same sort of thing is one of the Hornets, because you can put like 5 or 6 scatter guns on them too if you do it right. But the Hawk is really, really nimble, and it does that pretty well. Now, sometimes there will be like 2 hammerheads that'll spawn in the same spot, and that'll really cause some lag, and it can make the process of killing one of them a little bit of a pain. But yeah, there's 100 grand right there for that. So, I could do a VHRT since I'm doing my rounds here. This is usually what I do, is I just kind of do an ERT and a VHRT and then kind of wait around in space until the missions come back. Go do them again. Or go back and repair while I'm waiting, depending on if I'm damaged. I think we're alright to continue, though. Like I said, I know some people like to do kind of the long-range sort of attacks. But honestly, I have more fun when I'm doing bounty hunting if I can dogfight while doing it. Keeps it exciting. Now, keep in mind with the payouts on these, I've done enough of these that I've gotten promoted pretty much to the top with North Rock, who's the ones that hire you for these things. So it's going to be more for me than if you just got group bounties. I love fighting the Valkyries because they're easy to hit. Same kind of deal with these. Valkyries are actually not too hard to kill. They do pack a punch, though, if you let them shoot you for a minute. I found it easier to, like, set a route to these rendezvous beacons if you're kind of, like, this range. Like, say you double-click on Hurston so that it concentrates. You just zoom out one click, and you'll see, if I have it like that, the line will be going straight to the planet, but if it's, like, off a little, then it's on the rendezvous beacon. And it makes it much easier using the terrible star map. Warden and something else. Usually go for whichever one's closer or weaker, depends. Okay. Bunch of extras. Oh no, it's a hurricane. You'll see what I mean here. These guys are just a pain in the ass to fight with the scatter guns. You can delete them super fast from farther away with something else, but they're just so twitchy. And the Hawk is a little twitchy, so makes it a little hard to get a good aim on them sometimes. Luckily, with the scatter guns, you don't have to be super precise, especially if you're close, to hit them. This is the annoying part. They just circle you like this. Just keep flying in circles. They don't even necessarily shoot. It's like dogfighting someone in War Thunder, I swear. Okay. closer you get, the more desync becomes an issue, too. With NDBs, I kill these guys in like 5 seconds, but scatterguns, not so much. Much easier to take bigger ships with this. There we go. That wasn't so bad. And let's get out of here. Usually just jump to an outer marker, or an OM, whatever they're, orbital marker, outer marker. And, yeah, there you have it. 71,000, sometimes it's up to 75. But I mean, there's 175,000 or so, roughly, maybe more, in, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Typically, I don't like to sit around at OMs to wait for the missions, so what I'll do, just for a little more, is I'll start traveling towards something else, like one of the other moons or Everest. And then, you know, after traveling for a minute, I'll just jump out of Quantum and move a little off to the side. That way I'm just kind of in the middle of nowhere. No one's gonna... Because a lot of people bounty hunt, sometimes they're not friendly, so... Yeah, just sit around here and wait for the missions to come back. So anyways, that'll do it. It's a bit of a shorter one this time. This is more of just I've gotten some comments of people asking how I made so much money to get all the ships I have and stuff, and it's honestly not all been bounty hunting, but this is the most lucrative thing to do right now, especially if you can do PvE combat. So I figured I'd show you what I do. I mean, I typically will just do this and, you know, have something else going on my second monitor or something. I've gotten so used to it that I can just kind of do it mindlessly, I guess. Do this for a few hours a day, you'll make a lot of money. Someone did spawn out here. Interesting. Hurston security. They're gonna come scan me in the middle of space. What you doing?
Attention. Please come to an immediate halt and hold for your vessel to be scanned.
Seriously. Sometimes you'll come across random hostiles like this. Hostile AI, but...
You're clear to proceed.
Thanks, Hurston. This little sector of the void is so much safer with you checking my ship. But yeah, anyways, I guess that'll do it. I have a few ships that I want to make kind of longer videos on, going around doing some different stuff with them. I think I'm going to make a video with the Constellation Phoenix pretty soon. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. But that will do it for this one, so I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.